How you doing, everybody, and welcome to Dicey Decisions, where we roll dice, spin stories, and play some Dungeons and Dragons. This week's Dicey Spotlight is a casting call, more or less. It is a call has gone out specifically for Black Indigenous mixed POCs for Pasión de las Pasiones. This is a one-shot show meant to provide a platform for BIMPOC GMs and players. There's drama, there's passion, there's deception. It's going to be a really fun project. I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing how it goes. Go to vibrantvisibleVictorious.com for more information, or you can check out the Kickstarter for the game itself, which is also in the description down below. So, without any further ado, please enjoy this episode of Dicey Decisions. Oh, Benneth has to roll a death saving throw. Okay.
Hugga's gonna stomp around a little bit just to needs to storm around and walk off the rest of her rage.
All right. After a minute or so, or
walk
less than
around
a minute,
in a hump.
couple of seconds.
Gonna put a hand on Oren's shoulder and just go, "It's okay. We made it. We're fine." And
All right.
let's go get that magic thing and go and save our friend, okay?
All right.
Should be up on the table. He was looking up at it when we questioned about it.
Awesome. And then when she comes up, and she's gonna come up and look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to roll an investigation check?
You do not, because the area is well lit enough and there isn't too much there. The only thing that is at the overturned table is just a bunch of bloody gore. As you approach, it looks, you can see it better in the light now. It looks like a number of human organs. And there's a what probably is a very ornate chalice, a golden cup, that is kind of slapped with gore as well because it was overturned, and the unlit candle.
I'm assuming that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, did we get a description from Val what the relic looked like?
I mean, not in canon, technically.
Great.
Just grab everything.
Benneth is he's still floating face down in the water.
Yeah, Finnan is
Yeah.
actually gonna reach out with the rapier and flip him over.
Yeah, you flip him over. And
With a rapier?
he's just this nasty, sopping wet, just very, very moist individual. And
Ew.
he was probably once, like, okay looking, but, like, right now he just looks like absolute garbage.
I'm going to scoop up the chalice and go back over to Finnan and switch with him. I will grab Benneth and bind him and hand him I hand Finnan the chalice. Does this feel divine to you? Can you tell about that?
Let me give it a shot. And so I'm going to, like, Finnan is going to hop over to, like, more stable ground. He is going to set down his tankard next to the chalice.
Okay.
And kind of to himself, just kind of say, Mal, what do you make of this? Just give me, I don't need it much, just something to know that we're on the right track.
Roll a religion check, please.
Gotcha. Ooh. This is going to be a straight D20 roll. I have nothing to religion and nothing to in.
All right.
That's a 14.
You realize that this is not a holy relic. This is a very unholy item. There's something about it. As you look at it, you realize that a lot of the iconography on the actual surface, you kind of wipe it off a little bit, or you got you kind of shake it in the water, clean it off a smidgen, and there's a lot of etchings in the gold, and the jewels are all this sickly pale color, almost like they've been leached of color.
Hey, Gerg.
He looks at you in acknowledgement. I don't have I can't make his voice right now, sorry.
Can you wreck this thing real good?
Sure. And he holds it in
Helga
his hands.
Helga, like, aggressively turns to Finnan. I thought that was what's bringing Soot back.
Nah, this isn't the relic. This is pretty much the opposite of the relic. I can hear the distrust.
I'm gonna search Benneth's prone form while this is going on.
You're
Gerg,
gonna investigate his form?
Yeah.
I'm searching his pockets and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
What am I rolling?
Investigation, as one does.
Okay.
The only vibe I was getting from this thing was real. Basically, all the stuff that was leading us down here.
I don't think we should destroy it. At least bring it back to Val.
Yeah, just Gerg, keep a real tight hold on it.
Oh, I found it.
Helga kind of, like, growls in the back of her throat a little bit and is like, okay. That's fine, I guess.
That was a 20.
Yeah. As you are searching his pockets, you find a number of sodden rags and that appear to may have been just left there when he, like, tried to wipe up his own sweat and then just gave up on it. Everything
Wipe
on
up
him
his
is,
own.
like, sizzling slightly, and your hands are tingling as you touch him, and you're, like, trying your best not to touch any part of his skin. You do find in his sleeve, however, a long wand made of twisted, almost petrified wood. But as you look closer, it's just marble carved to look like wood.
I feel like this is closer to what we're looking for. And I hold it up.
Helga rushes over.
Katrina.
Helga doesn't know what it. Helga can't help with the identification process, but she wants to be there.
Helga's helping with her presence. Katrina, as you look at that chalice, I will allow you to roll a history check.
Hey, if you guys like the music that's playing, it was all written by Mike.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for the plug.
Maybe doing, we do have a Patreon, guys, and maybe if everyone really likes the music, we can convince Michael to start releasing the tracks as a Patreon level.
Ooh. Patreon.
That would be a natural 1.
Oh.
Thank you for the plug.
Lovely.
Thank you for the plug, my dear. Yeah, you don't know anything about this chalice, but it looks like bad juju. As
I thought it was a wand.
No, there's also the chalice, but she found the wand.
She was in. Oh, okay.
Yeah. She just kind of glanced at it as Gurg was preparing to crush it, and his arms make that intense, whirring sound once again. And there's a bit of a hot glow under most of the joints as he appears to try to crush it flat between his hands.
Nice.
It doesn't budge.
Oh.
So Finnan is actually going to see that wand, and I'm going to attempt to kind of, confer with Mal about it again.
So Katrina, Finnan takes it from you and places his cup next to it and just kind of looks at it and kind of mutters to himself a bit. Go ahead and roll a religion check.
Because you said it's carved to look like petrified wood, correct?
Yes, it is.
Which is very similar to how my tankard looks.
Yes, it is.
Sounds
All right.
nice.
I should get advantage for this.
No.
It's actually just a drink mixer.
Okay.
It's actually just a drink mixer for his cup.
I'm just gonna build a whole bartender set of holy
Yeah.
relics.
That whole interaction there reminded me of episode 1 of New Doctor Who. There's a strange man in my bedroom. Yes. And I'm in my dressing gown. Yes. Well, anything could happen. No.
Yeah. All right.
Energy.
16.
16. Okay. This wand, as you are thinking to yourself about this wand, it does remind you a lot of that carved tree idol in the Silver Church of a large skeletal tree made out of black and white marble. And this wand seems to be of a very similar material, and even holding it, it seems to radiate this powerful magic.
We got it, guys.
Very different from the chalice, which has a very dark energy, just being near it.
And he holds up the wand. This is it.
Awesome. Helga or Gurg, Helga, if you're just feeling a little bit not wanting to touch that, grab the boy and let's get the hell out of here.
Agreed.
Oh, the Ben?
The grease. Grab the grease.
What the fuck?
There is a terrifying, deafening screech as this massive, almost humanoid shape with dark feathered wings rushes down from the ceiling and grabs the body of Benneth and leaps up into the air. You'll have just enough time to make out the form of this strange bird-like, horrifying demonic creature as it releases a deafening shriek as it lifts Benneth into the air. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw? Yeah, it is a Constitution. What do you do?
So I made an 18.
I got a 21.
Okay.
And I got 11.
Okay, so Katrina, Gurg, and Oran all drop to one knee or just straight up to the ground, gripping their ears from the sound of this screech, whereas Helga and Finnan, you both still have the chance to, look up and see this thing. You're not fully incapacitated or stunned by it, but it still hurts like fucking hell. This thing is about the size of Helga. It has this terrible muscular frame and massive dark wings. It seems like the opposite of an angel, and has this horrifying bird-like face with teeth in the beak. Almost like a goose. What it did was it swooped down out of the darkness in the ceiling, grabbed Benneth's unconscious form, flew back up, released this deafening screech, and just flew up and out of the hole that you came in through.
I just realized we didn't do anything to stabilize him. Is he rolling death saves?
You don't know.
Well, he's not our problem anymore.
Don't care.
He has been taken.
All right, I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save?
Yep.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So 13.
8.
4. Damn.
For a short, terrible, terrifying moment, even as the creature, even as you weren't stunned immediately by the creature, just the sight of this otherworldly, horrifying monstrosity, clearly unlike anything you've ever seen before, for the next... literally all of you, for the next, like, we'll say... Yeah, for the next minute or so, all of you do exactly whatever anyone tells you to do that isn't obviously self-destructive. So none of you know this until this becomes a thing.
Is this a,
It
what
is
sort of...
a bout of short-term madness.
Okay.
Just does anything that anyone tells us to.
Yep. You're all
So wait, are we all just
shaken.
We just kind of stood there for a minute, like, huh.
Well, I mean, you all can still react to it, but, like...
Let's get out of here.
Helga's like,
yeah,
that was
let's
weird.
go.
everyone immediately agrees.
Yes.
I don't think we
Even if
needed
we
the
weren't
madness.
compelled.
Right. Right.
Don't think we
Helga's
needed the
like, that
madness
was-
for that.
Y'all got lucky. You could have started fighting each other.
Helga was like, that was weird, right? It was weird.
That was
Absolutely.
weird. I agree, yeah.
All right, you all slowly climb your way back up the ladder into Benneth's private study. That has now been torn asunder. There's little splashes of acidic blood, kind of by the doorway that is now off of its hinges on the floor. As you all make your way carefully up the spiral staircase to the actual main floor of this sunken watchtower, you see a watery puddle that was probably once another gelatinous cube, and then as you continue further down the way, yet another gelatinous cube puddle. And you make your way out of the main entrance into the bright of day, because it's still daytime.
Weird.
You all find yourselves in that marshy swampland.
I turn to Oren and Gerg. Have you guys encountered something like that before?
Gerg is just kind of shaking his head, quietly, not making eye contact with anyone. He is, again, almost as pale as he was when he saw that one image that was drawn by Benneth. And Oren gives you just this completely lost look, like he has no idea what to think, and he just can't respond. He's just opening and closing his mouth like a fish.
I'm
I
gonna-
feel like I should have killed him. Don't know if he was already dead or I don't know.
I think
What the fuck was that?
I think he was being used by something that might be a little out of all of our depths.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree.
And I'm
And-
kind of glad that it didn't show up to find him dead.
Yeah, that might have been actually worse. I'm going to move towards the cart and hop.
Mm-hmm. Hop is still there. Actually, as you you're still at the entrance, you see those spines from those crocodiles are not luckily near the entrance, but they're still there and a little further away. But Hop has been unmolested this entire time.
It's good.
It's okay, he would have killed him anyway. He is extremely lethal.
He's actually a dragon.
He is a lethal weapon.
On top of his bookkeeping skills.
Oh
Mhm.
yes, there's a reason I keep him around. And yeah, he's just going to spend a moment to kind of center himself by getting hops ready and prepping the cart for everybody to ride back.
Mhm.
Cat is inspecting her armor with all of the
strange damage that it took. You're inspecting it, and Oren kind of steps up, and both him and Gerg look at each other. They both place a hand on either of your shoulder, and their eyes and tattoos flash once again, and your armor mends itself.
Oh, nice.
Cat gets tears in her eyes when that happens. Thank you. This was my brother's.
Of course.
Finnan was going to have a quip, but he actually opens his mouth to say a thing, hears what Cat says, and there's an actual audible sound of his mouth closing.
Just.
And he just says, well, if we head back now, we can make it before sundown, and we can get some closure.
Let's go save the bird.
It'll be nice to meet him.
He's great. He's great little guy.
You'll love him. You two would get along famously. Let's get going. So, you all make the long trek back to the city of Dagdaral. You don't even have to go into the city limits because the Silver Church is outside of the walls. So you take the path there. As you approach the city, you can see the Eye of Justine, that bright star that hovers above the city, rotating around it, and keeping watch over the people that live there. It is beginning to brighten as the sun is beginning to go down. As you approach the Silver Church, the graveyard is quiet. It is empty, and the door makes a resounding knock, and it opens to reveal the raven-haired, pale human Val, Graver Val, and she looks astonished and relieved, and so like her hair is all over the place, and she looks like she definitely did not expect you to come back, and she looks so happy that you did.
Found your stick.
Yep, Finnan just holds up the relic.
Oh, come in, everyone, please. We don't have a lot of time. Some officials from the city came a knocking, and I did my best to head them off, but I don't think they believed me.
Thank you, Val.
Well, I'm not the one who's got a wanted sign with my face on it. Let's go.
Yes, that will be us.
And so she leads all five of you into the
Abyss.
into the abyss. Yes, into
The
Hell's.
unknown.
Into the actual church. The pews are still pushed aside. There is a magic circle and there's a magic circle drawn with a bunch of arcane symbols in white chalk. There are a number of candles at certain points. Actually, 6 points. Or no, I'm sorry. 4 points around it. And Soot's body, with arms folded, with his little prayer wheel in his hands, folded over his chest, just laying there in the center of the circle.
Come back to us,
Val
baby.
Val takes the wand and kind of waves it a bit in front of her, and a trail of silvery swirls and almost like smoke kind of trails from it, and she kind of flicks it away. She's like, okay, good, excellent. His touch did not corrupt it as much as I thought it would. This will work fine. And she looks at the rest of you. Were you able to recover anything that he took from us.
I just dump all of it from the bag of holding at her feet.
Oh my.
I don't know how much of this we need. My inclination is to say none of it. It does not belong to us, after all.
Well, you might need this, and she reaches down and picks up a ring with a rather large diamond in it.
You know, I'm gonna have to agree with you, Val.
Yeah, we might need this. What happened to Benneth as she's like ushering Katrina, Helga, and Finnan to stand at 3 of the points? And she stands at the 4th. She said, and she looks at Gergon and Rand. I'm sorry, I did not expect more people for the ritual, but you two can stand by and maybe just catch me if I fall, because apparently this hasn't been attempted in over several decades, and I might pass out. So this will be fun.
Helga backs up behind her and like gets ready to catch her trust fall style.
She puts a hand out and stops you. She's no, you're going to be a part of this. You need to stand there. And she points at one of the points on the circle, one of the 4 points.
Right. Okay.
Gergon and Ren step around behind her, and she looks at you all. So, what happened to Benneth?
It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah,
There was this thing.
Something took him.
Okay,
Oh.
maybe we'll do this later. Anyway, we have something to do. All right. Whew. She like kind of shakes herself out, cracks her neck a bit, stretches her arms. Oh, okay. And she produces a small, very old book from within her robes. And she raises her wand and begins to recite. O Lady of Silver, hear our plea. We ask that you look upon your grey halls and see that there is one soul too many in your charge. We entreat you, O gracious guardian of fate, to return this soul unto the body before us, that they may fulfill the destiny that fate has ordained upon them. And she looks at we'll say just all of you. She looks at the 3 of you specifically, standing at the points, and says, "Now, would any of you like to make an offering, say something? Anything you can do that would add some potency to this?"
Finnan unclasps his tankard and sets it down next to him and just says, "Well, I know I've asked a lot of you just in today, but you know how we are. We see somebody who needs it, and we don't mind reaching out to help. So whatever you can do, big guy, just something."
All right, go ahead
So
and
wait,
roll a persuasion check, please.
Da-da-da-da-da. That's a 13.
Okay.
Is this like making a sacrifice to the altar type thing where like whatever is used will be consumed?
No, not. I mean, you don't know.
I was
I'll
just
say you
saying,
don't know.
Yeah.
But you see Finnan kind of do this, mutter to himself, and Finnan, you feel a gentle warmth in your belly, as if you just drank a whole glass of mead, and you can almost swear you hear the wind outside whispering, "Yo me a tall drink."
Helga takes out her bear figurine and I guess like places it in the circle.
Where do you place it in the circle? On Soot, next to Soot?
Yeah, I guess I'll put it on him.
Okay.
And in her native tongue, she calls out to the sky bear, to beseech the sky bear to help guide Soot back to the mortal coil.
All right. I'll have you roll. Persuasion check was already rolled, so go ahead and roll a. I don't know, like let's say a religion check. Sure, fuck it.
Okay. Oh, it's got to be religion. Ooh, that's a 5.
All right. Place the bear on. You call out, and you step back in your spot. Katrina.
I reach into my pocket and you see me thumb at something in my pocket for a little bit, and then I pull out a coin, and it has
Toss the coin to your pigeon.
I have my coin, and I am kind of like rolling it around in my hand. I don't know much about gods, but I do feel like I might know a little about fate. And I know that this is not yours. And she flips it up and catches it and flips it over onto her hand as she says, "So you better get your ass back here and finish your
Bird.
stupid divine duty that you have to do. I don't get it, but you get back here."
As she's saying this, Val has been kind of chanting and muttering and swirling the wand over her head, and wind is whipping around all of you. The lines on the magic circle are beginning to glow with this purplish fire behind which you can see silvery spotted stars. Katrina, I need you to roll a D2.
I haven't
If you're
used this
using the
before.
if you're using the magical properties of the coin, a 2 would be a natural 20.
Okay. Else. Yes!
Yes!
Oh.
So Katrina says
I
this.
look at it and I grin, and fate is telling me that it is not your time.
And Graver Val kind of nods and she kind of nods to herself and begins chanting in. Does anyone speak Celestial?
Nope.
Nope.
Val's eyes roll back as she's chanting, and suddenly her body goes stiff. The stone tree behind her seems to grow slightly, a tiny crackling and creaking emanating from its otherwise still form. Val's whole demeanor shifts as she stops chanting. Her eyes roll back into place, but now they are glassy orbs that look off into a purple-tinged starscape. When she speaks, it is not her voice. She simply opens her mouth.
Hear me, herald of the Everflame. That which you perceive to be is founded on untruth. Many destinies rely upon yours, and for that, an exception is made this day. Do not squander this act of charity on my part. The power you carry within you is but a candle to the shining star that you may yet become. The company you keep is similarly destined.
And she, or the entity, looks around to all of you. And this time she's addressing all of you.
Tread carefully, fate-free, for I may not intercede again. We will be watching closely. Now, breathe.
And the entity leans down and touches Soot.
And then you see Soot roll over and coughing on his side. And is dry heaving a little.
Aww.
A lot. Dry heaving a lot. He's dry heaving a lot.
Hugga's
And
like,
his eyes are still like really clenched really hard, and he's dry heaving, and he's
oh, poor
dry
baby.
heaving, and it's a lot.
Her buddy is back.
Helga
Tiffany?
like falls to her knees and starts hugging Soot and like lifting his head, caressing his head. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
But
The
he's
second,
alive.
the second Soot moves, Graver Val just collapses on the ground.
Oh, Helga didn't catch her shit.
Neither did Oran or Gerg.
Oran and Gerg are fucking thunderstruck by everything that just happened. You all just heard a god speak.
Yeah.
Helga's like, back.
Finnan lets the pair of them and Oran and Gerg take care of Soot. Finnan actually just kind of scoots and tries to get Val at least like leaning onto something.
Yeah, as you go to Val, she kind of sits up and goes, "Ah, ah. What happened? Sorry, I definitely blacked out there.
Helga goes, it worked.
Oh, wonderful. I need a drink.
Here. And he passes her his flask.
And is there anything in it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, she takes a long sip. So, it worked. What happened? I definitely blacked out for a moment. I'm sorry. That was very undignified.
We heard God, bitch. Let's get you a drink.
I'm sorry, what?
We'll explain at the flagon.
Flapping
Let
out.
me bring Soot back into the actual character setup. He's back now. Guess
Baby
who's
is
back? Back again.
Baby is back. While you guys are holding him, and Soot finishes dry heaving, and is coughing, and his breath of life, and he's finally getting his bearings, and it's dawning on him that he had died and he's alive, and these words, God, Soot, people, his friends are around him, and he finally takes the moment, takes it all in to look around at all of you, and you all look at him and you see what you remember about Soot is that what's always been unnerving about him was that his eyes were always this dark bird like glassy bird like, correct? And now whether this is from the ritual or because of death, they're a milky white, and it seems a little bit more unnerving than ever
damn.
before.
Is he blind, Burb? Or does he just have cataracts?
No, it seems that he's focusing.
It's just the color of his eyes now.
Yeah.
He's looking at each of you in turn as you're speaking to him.
He's looking at all of you. He's looking at all of his friends. And he's crying a little bit.
Come back, buddy.
He's hugging you guys.
Aww.
My friends.
Aww.
Did you guys like
Wait,
the
is
music
he-
that I wrote for the ritual?
Yes.
Yeah.
Helga's like hugging Soot and is like, oh, I'm so glad to have you back, my friend. We missed you so much.
Oran steps forward and grasps your hand, Soot, and just falls to his knees and just starts sobbing into your hand. And he's just saying, I'm so sorry.
Soot pulls him in and gives him the full bodied hug, and it's hard. You can see that it's hard to tell if Oran or Soot is the one trembling.
Both. Probably both.
It's definitely both.
Both is good.
Both is good.
Hey there, Troy.
I have no idea how this sounds, but I am in the car currently, so...
It sounds like absolute shit. As you all are kind of together and just weeping with happiness, you hear a thunderous pounding on the oak doors to the church. And you hear a muffled voice shouting, by order of the council and the crown, you are under arrest. All persons must come out, now! And that's where we're going to end that episode.
Ooh.
So, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for being here. We have Soot back. Yay! Anyway, if you're listening to this on iTunes, please be sure to leave us a review because it super duper helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe, leave a comment about your favorite part, and your predictions for the next episode. Please go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dicey-decisions. There's cool stuff, fun bonuses, there's articles, there's lore, there's art. It's great. It helps us keep the lights on, all that good stuff. Send some love towards Tiff, because we have our Tiff back. We have all 4 players. Yay! No one's dead anymore. For now. Thank you all so much for being here. Please be safe, share some love, and tell a story. Good night.